What if a single temple could hold the beginning, the middle, and the end of everything? Not four temples, not four religions. One temple, four doors, and behind every door, a God waiting for you to understand something you already knew, but forgot. Tonight we walk through that temple, slowly, because the gods do not reveal themselves to those who run. The Gopuram rises against a sky the color of dying embers. Gold leaf catches the last light of a sun that refuses to fully set, as if the day itself is reluctant to leave this place. Carved figures climb the tower in rows, hundreds of them, frozen mid-story, and you realize the entire building is not decoration. It is a text, a scripture written in stone instead of ink. At the threshold, incense smoke curls upward and never seems to dissipate. It hangs there, thick, gold, eternal, and it smells like something you cannot name but somehow remember. A single bell hangs at the entrance. No one is ringing it, and yet if you listen closely, it hums. The bell that hums on its own is not decoration. In temple tradition, the bell's sound is said to mark the boundary between the outer world and the sacred one, a threshold you cross the instant you hear it, whether your hand ever touches it or not. You step inside. The heat of the outside world falls away. The floor is cold stone, polished by 10,000 years of bare feet. And ahead of you, four doors, each carved from a different wood, each older than the last, each leading somewhere you have never been, though something in your chest insists otherwise. The first door, Brahma. The first door is thin, almost forgotten, tucked into a corner where the light barely reaches. Dust settles on its frame in a way that suggests few have opened it in a very long time. Inside, the chamber is small. Four faces look outward from a single carved head, gazing in every direction at once, north, south, east, west, as if refusing to let a single moment of creation escape unwitnessed. This is Brahma, the one who spoke the universe into being, who dreamed the first thought, and the first thought became a lotus, and from that lotus, the first breath of existence unfurled. And yet the chamber is empty of worshippers. No offerings pile at his feet. No queue wins toward his shadow, because creation, once finished, is easily forgotten. The architect leaves the room quietly once the house is built. Nobody thanks the blueprint. They thank the walls. Small hint, watch Brahma's hands in temple carvings. One almost always holds a water pot, the source from which all creation is said to have poured. The other holds the Vedas themselves, the knowledge that came with the very first act of creation. A cracked mirror rests near the base of the statue, and in it, your reflection fractures into four faces of its own, distorted, overlapping. For a moment, you understand something uncomfortable. Creation did not happen once, long ago, in some myth-soaked past. It is happening now. In you, every choice a small act of Brahma, a universe spoken into being, and then abandoned to whatever comes next. You leave the chamber quieter than you entered it. The second door, Vishnu. The second door is wide, its wood dark and gleaming, worn smooth by generations of hands. It opens onto a chamber filled with cool blue light, as though the room itself remembers the ocean. Vishnu reclines here, resting on the coiled body of a great serpent, floating on waters that have no beginning and no shore. His skin is the color of a monsoon sky just before the rain breaks. Four arms, a conch, a discus, a mace, a lotus. This is the preserver, the one who does not create and does not destroy, but holds the middle together, the fragile, ordinary, sacred middle where all of life actually happens. Around the chamber, 10 smaller figures are carved into the walls in procession: a fish, a boar, a lion man, a dwarf, a prince with a bow, a shepherd with a flute. Each one Vishnu, wearing a different mask, walking into a different broken world to fix what had come undone. Small hint, notice the serpent beneath him has exactly 7 or 1,000 hoods, depending on the carving, and its name Shesha literally means the remainder, what is left over after everything else has been used up. Preservation is not glamorous. It is what remains. A single oil lamp burns at his feet, and its flame does not flicker despite the draft moving through the chamber. It simply holds steady, patient, unbothered, the way water holds its shape even as it moves. You realize you have been standing here longer than you meant to. Vishnu's chamber does that. It asks nothing of you. It only asks you to stay a little longer than is convenient, the way the middle of a life always does. The third door. Shiva. The third door is different, heavier, carved with skulls and crescent moons, and cold to the touch even in the heat of the day. Behind it, darkness, and somewhere in that darkness, a low sound that might be a drum, or might be a heartbeat, or might be both. The chamber opens into shadow lit by a single shaft of moonlight, falling on a lingam, smooth black stone, ash smeared across its base in 3 horizontal lines. This is Shiva, the Destroyer, though that word has always been too small for what he is. Ash covers his skin, the ash of everything that has ever burned, everything that has ever ended, worn not as a wound, but as a reminder. A cobra coils around his neck like jewelry. The crescent moon rests in his matted hair, waxing and waning eternally, because even destruction obeys the rhythm of return. In the corner of the chamber, barely visible, a small drum sits on a stone shelf, the Damaru. Some say its rhythm is the sound existence keeps time to. Not the beginning of the universe, not its end, just its pulse, the drum beat underneath everything, whether you notice it or not. Small hint. Look for the third eye carved faintly on his forehead, closed. Legend says it opens only once, and when it does, what it burns away is never physical. It burns illusion, the things you believed about yourself that were never true. The moonlight shifts slightly, and for a moment the shadows on the wall look like a dancer mid-motion, 1 foot lifted, arms spread, a ring of fire circling the whole scene. Nataraja, the cosmic dance that destroys the old world only to clear space for the next one. You feel standing here that destruction was never the opposite of creation. It was always creation's other hand. The fourth door. Devi. The fourth door has no handle. It opens on its own, or perhaps it was never closed, only waiting for you to notice it. Inside, the chamber blazes with color, red silk, marigold garlands piled so high they spill onto the floor, and at the center, a figure with 10 arms, each one holding a different weapon, gifted, the old stories say, by the very gods you have already met. This is Devi, Shakti, the energy without which Brahma cannot create, Vishnu cannot preserve, and Shiva cannot destroy. The gods gave her their weapons because none of them alone could face what needed facing. Her foot rests on the neck of a buffalo demon, frozen at the exact instant of his defeat, and her eyes are calm, not angry, focused. There is a difference the sculptors clearly wanted you to see. Small hint. Count the weapons if the carving allows it. Different traditions give her different numbers, but each weapon traces back to a different god, a trident from Shiva, a discus from Vishnu, meaning her power was never separate from theirs. It was always the completion of it. In a smaller alcove beside her, gentler versions wait. Parvati, patient and devoted, Saraswati with her Veena, Lakshmi with her lotus and falling coins. Same essence, different faces. The way a river is still a river, whether it is flooding a plain or feeding a single quiet garden. You stand in the brightest chamber of the temple and understand finally what the other 3 doors were building toward. You walk back to where the 4 doors meet, a small open courtyard beneath the sky, where the incense from the entrance still drifts, thinner now but present. And you understand it was never 4 separate gods behind 4 separate doors. Brahma dreams the world. Vishnu holds it steady while it lives. Shiva clears it away when it is time. And Devi is the force moving quietly through all 3, the energy without which none of it happens at all. Creation, preservation, destruction, and the power that drives them. Not 4 gods. 1 breath, exhaled in 4 directions. The bell at the entrance hums once more as you step back out into the evening. And this time, you understand exactly why.